Batter up. It's time for News by the Gram. Oh! Sorry. Welcome to News by the Gram, YouTube's best news show for all hemp and cannabis-related topics. This week, a recent report revealed that states collected almost $4 billion in recreational cannabis tax revenue last year. A study is looking into the benefits of CBDA-rich hemp in cattle feed. A Senate committee has voted on the fate of cannabis consumers in federal agencies, such as the CIA and NSA. Rhode Island has become the 19th state to legalize recreational cannabis. And finally, what's with all the baseball stuff? Well, our first story kind of came out of left field and surprised all of us. It's a home run victory for CBD this month, as the MLB has thrown a fat pitch and approved teams to now be sponsored by CBD companies. Way to go to bat for the cannabis community.
This is murder! Murder!
Okay, sorry. I'll stop. You may remember back in 2019, the MLB stood out amongst many of the other professional sports leagues by removing cannabis from its list of banned substances. Before their initial policy changes in 2019, any player testing positive for THC in their system were referred to mandatory treatment. Failure to comply with this could have resulted in a fine up to $35,000. Not only is that penalty now gone, but they've also taken it a step further and decided that teams can now sell sponsorships to cannabis companies marketing CBD products. Granted, they must meet certain standards and criteria. According to the Sports Business Journal, if a company wishes to purchase a sponsorship, their products must first be certified specifically by NSF International, an organization that sports leagues use that handles consumer safety and product testing. Teams and companies must also receive authorization from the MLB Commissioner's Office. With these criteria all in place, we could start seeing brand patches on uniforms and associated commercials as early as 2023. MLB's Chief Revenue Officer Noah Garden has stated, "We've been watching this category for a while and waiting for it to mature to the point where we can get comfortable with it." These policy changes are a result of a lot of work, conversations, and negotiations between the MLB and the players' unions. Both parties wanted to adjust the league's drug policy to be more of a treatment-focused model as opposed to enforcing penalties and punishments. We've already started seeing some similar changes in the other sports leagues, and let's hope this inspires them to keep going with the flow of progress. Now, back to me in the studio. Thanks, me. On the topic of policy changes, there may be a major federal policy change happening very soon. You may remember this article from back in 2014. It was a bit of a meme for a while. It was reported by Vice that the FBI says it can't find hackers to hire because they all smoke pot. And they quoted the then FBI Director James Comey as saying, "I have to hire a great workforce to compete with those cyber criminals, and some of those kids want to smoke weed on the way to the interview." After being chastised for the comments he made, he stated in a Senate hearing that he was just kidding. Sure. He's quoted again as saying, "I am absolutely dead set against using marijuana. I don't want young people to use marijuana. It's against the law. We have a 3-year ban on marijuana. I did not say that I'm going to change that ban. I said I have to grapple with the change in my workforce." There's a term for that. What is it? Oh yeah, backpedaling. First of all, what age are these young people you are referencing that want to work for the FBI? Were there 14-year-olds applying to work there? Or were there grown adults capable of making their own decisions in regards to the use of cannabis products? Regardless, they may no longer even be a concern in the near future. The Senate Intelligence Committee recently unanimously approved an amendment to be added to the new Intelligence Authorization Act, which is on its way to go through Congress soon and would then just need to be signed by the president. The amendment would prohibit the federal government from denying people security clearances needed to work at intelligence agencies from having consumed cannabis in any way in the past. It used to be such that if you had any history of cannabis use, however far back it was, it could greatly hurt your efforts if you wanted to work in a federal intelligence agency. Back in 2021, the FBI tried to take a progressive step by amending their policies to consider candidates that hadn't consumed cannabis products within a full year prior to their application date. Prior to that, they had demanded the same, but for at least 3 full years before applying, and even then, there was no guarantee that use outside of those 3 years wouldn't affect you. If the act passes with the amendment, it would make potential hires not have denial of security clearances based solely on past use of cannabis. The key author of the amendment, Oregon Democratic Senator Hayden, has said, "I applaud the committee for including my provisions, in particular an amendment ensuring that past cannabis use will not disqualify intelligence community applicants from serving their country. It's a common sense change to ensure the intelligence community can recruit the most capable people possible." First they approve it for the intelligence agencies, next the citizens, the people. Come on, we're so close. Please? Oh wait, look, it's another animal story. So back when the federal farm bill legalized hemp production in 2018, it wasn't just the local hemp heads that got excited. Farmers and agricultural professionals immediately started developing interest in using hemp for multiple commodities, one of them being livestock feed. In 2020, Kansas State University received a $200,000 research grant from the U.S. Department of Agriculture to study and analyze the safety of industrial hemp as cattle feed. Now in 2022, we are starting to get some really promising data. After comparing data from a group of cattle given feed containing industrial hemp with high CBDA content and a control group given their regular feed, the study has found a significant difference. The cattle that ate the feed containing hemp showed significantly lower levels of cortisol, the stress hormone, as well as a decrease in inflammation biomarkers which would normally indicate inflammatory issues. The study also showed that the cows that ate the industrial hemp feed spent more time lying down, which actually aids in a cow's digestion. One major concern was the possibility of an increase of cannabinoid levels in the cow's systems due to daily consumption. But the study proved that to not be the case. Although cannabinoids were detectable in their systems, it did not accumulate more after daily doses. Michael Kleinhens, I really hope I'm pronouncing that right, go easy on me in the comments, who published the results of the study, states that this data is essential if the FDA and the Association of American Feed Control Officials are going to approve the use of industrial hemp in livestock feed. And that's not the only positive data that's come out lately. A new report from the Marijuana Policy Project, an organization dedicated to the legalization of cannabis, has revealed the revenue generated last year from the 18 states that have legalized recreational use. Altogether, the tax revenue totaled just over $3.7 billion, and that's not even including medical cannabis sales. That's a 34% increase from 2020 and double the revenue from 2019. Since 2014, the combined total tax revenue from all the states comes to about $11.2 billion in taxes. The president and the CEO of the Marijuana Policy Project said that this newest report gives further evidence that ending cannabis prohibition offers tremendous financial benefits for state governments. Cough. Cough. That face. Also included in the report are the different ways these states are utilizing this tax revenue for various programs and incentives. Michigan plans on distributing about $150 million between localities, public schools, and transportation. Illinois is dedicating a portion of their revenue towards mental health services and local organizations that are developing programs that benefit disadvantaged communities. California is awarding about $29 million in grants to 58 nonprofit organizations in an attempt to fix some of the problems that occurred as a result of the war on drugs. Lastly, Colorado has invested nearly $500 million into their public school system. They made nearly $423 million in cannabis tax revenue last year alone. And in case I haven't been clear, there be golden in their buds. By the way, I just talked about the tax revenue from the 18 recreational states, right? Well, add another to the list because Rhode Island now marks the 19th state to legalize recreational cannabis. Cheers and applause, yay, yay, woo! Party time. They recently passed legislation legalizing possession up to 1 ounce of cannabis by adults aged 21 and over. Adults are also permitted possession of up to 10 ounces in a private home, as well as cultivation of up to 3 mature and 3 immature cannabis plants. Provisions included in the bill also expunge past convictions for cannabis possession offenses, including civil violations, misdemeanors, and felonies. This means that as many as 27,000 cases where possession of cannabis was the only charge are now eligible for expungement. Regulated sale of recreational cannabis is set to start on December 1st this year, so mark your calendars, Rhode Islanders. That's 19 down, only 31 to go. That concludes this segment of News by the Gram. If you found any fun or interesting hemp or cannabis news you'd like to see talked about here, post it in our new forums. You can find the link in the description below. We got new forums. And then make sure to like the video, subscribe if you haven't yet to keep up to date with our latest releases, and doink that bell to be notified whenever we drop a new video. That's it. No more news here for now. You can leave now. I don't have any more jokes or anything to say now, so bye!